It is a Sunday. I'm up here in Ohio. It's stopped snowing. Didn't snow a whole lot, but nonetheless, it did snow, and then it kind of melted away. I'll show you. The truck was covered pretty well, and there was a lot more on the roof of that building. Anyway, hope y'all are warm. Boy, I look like hell. Anyway, I guess I never did do a video. We'll do one, or I'll do one on setting up a pickup. And I guess I'm going to hit just the key points of a single pole, which in reality a single pole truck doing campers. Pretty much the key points, what you need there is what you're going to need if you were to do power only stuff. And then go into semis or center rail trucks or trucks that are going to do center rails. Break that down by pickup and semi. So first and foremost, I'm a very big advocate of used equipment. It's hard to justify paying $1,500-$1,600 for a B&W puck system fifth wheel when you can buy them for $500 to $900 all day long. And sometimes if you look for them up in the Indiana area, you'll find them with the Teflon plate already on. I can't say biased. If you know how things are manufactured and fabricated, it's hard to buy a Kurt or a Husky when you look at a B&W. And in my opinion, they're underrated weight capacity wise than what's actually what you're looking at. But that's just purely my opinion. I don't manufacture them. I just know that I would take a B&W companion fifth wheel over any Kurt, Husky, Reese product ever. To me, it's just number one. The jaws. They're a full 1-inch thick jaw machined from a single piece of metal versus a 1/2-inch jaw that is stamped out, or I don't even think Kurt machines them, and they're just put together. They make a left and make a right rather than just making one piece into two jaws. I mean, yes, they're more expensive, but again, if you're buying used, it really doesn't much matter. Of course, you can buy a used Kurt for $300. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. It's just my opinion. People will tell me I'm wrong, and I don't care. When it comes to hitches, B&W is the way to go. Gen Y has a fifth wheel with a gooseneck ball, and the fifth wheel slides. And it's not a slider, don't get me wrong. The fifth wheel slides up out of the way so you could pull a gooseneck trailer without damaging the hitch. And that's kind of neat. Gen Y products, I like them. They're made there in Napanee. It is a good, solid product. If I was to go outside of B&W, which I own a Gen Y torsion hitch that was bought for a specific trailer for a specific purpose that B&W doesn't fill. So yes, my backup hitch would be a Gen Y. Now, when it comes to weight distribution hitches, they're not a sway A weight distribution hitch is just that. It is you got a ball, you got a head, and you either have a round bar or a trunnion setup. Round bar is literally the weight distribution bars, not the sway bars as everybody calls them, are round. And they slide into the hitch, the head of the hitch, and they're held in with a little bitty pin. So I'm not a big fan of that style. I don't like the way the head is held in position. I don't like the little tab that holds the round bar in place. The round dowel is held together with a thin piece of metal, or held in place with a thin piece of metal that will rust in pieces, or will rust in half and then break. In a weight distribution hitch, a Reese trunnion, in my opinion, is the best one to have. There's fewer parts to go wrong and fail, unlike a round bar. The head, you can tilt it like it needs to be to compensate for when you actually adjust it to use it as it's intended, and it's held into place with a bolt like a round bar, except for there's a square piece of metal that's got teeth. There's teeth on the side of the head, and it pinches itself and stays in place. It doesn't have a button that fits down in between the shank of the hitch and the head of the hitch. I really, now thinking about this, should be doing this video like at Dan's and explaining it to you and you could see it. But for reference, you can look up Harbor Freight weight distribution hitch. That is a round bar hitch. That is a round bar weight distribution hitch. Or you can type in Reese trunnion, and you can noticeably see the differences in them. I use Dan's hitch or Absolute Fabrication. If I'm in a hurry and on a budget, Absolute. If I have all the time in the world and I don't have a budget, I go to Dan's. Dan's does excellent work. When he did the setup on the Freightliner, 7 days, in, out, done. Didn't have to go back and redo nothing. And we all know the video and what happened with Absolute. So there's that. Dan's has a good selection of new tanks along with used fuel tanks. When it comes to fuel tanks, bigger is better. I am not a fan of the toolbox fuel tank combo, and the reason being is that when you get to driving around, inevitably all your tools are going to end up in the middle. Your arm is only so long, and it's not going to reach the tools in the middle, so now you got to climb in the back of your truck to get what you need. That space can be utilized to hold fuel. Fuel is your number one cost. It's going to cost between 38 and 42 cents a mile, all miles. So if you can buy fuel, say in Oklahoma, where it's $3 a gallon, versus Indiana, where it's $3.98 a gallon, you just saved 98 cents a gallon. And because you want a toolbox, you just lost the capability of 20 gallons. So do the easy math, and there you go. If you buy a truck that has a puck system, almost every manufacturer makes a puck system, going back to fifth wheels, for a fifth wheel. I would strongly advise buying a B&W. Now, if your truck does not have a puck system, Reese sells a gooseneck type hitch that's under the bed. It's a knockoff of B&W's turnover ball. You buy a B&W turnover ball for your truck. They put it in, or you can put it in. I've done one once. I won't do it ever again. It's putting that center section in is a pain in the ass. Unless you have a Ram, then it's easy from 13 and newer. Anyway, once you get your gooseneck hitch in place and the hole cut and all that, then you can buy a B&W, an older style B&W companion fifth wheel. So B&W's fifth wheel is called the companion. They just have some for the turnover ball. They have some for the puck system. So there's that. Now, there'll be guys out here who are running a weight distribution hitch on a Gen Y torsion hitch. Guys, you clearly don't understand how physics works, and you're just canceling out the weight distribution factor. Now, when it comes to a mud flap, some companies, they're happy if you have a mud flap behind the wheel and that's it. Some require behind the wheel and a full width mud flap. Ultra Guard, punch that in. Camping World sells them. Dan's Hitch sells them. Dooley Depot, if you trust that place, I don't. They sell them. Get on Facebook Marketplace in Elkhart, Indiana. See who's selling it. Look in Elkhart, or look in your area where you live. And you never know. You might be living 50 miles from a guy who's getting out of the business and he's selling everything. Triangle, fire extinguisher, fuel tank, hitch, and he may cut you a hell of a deal just to be shed of it. Again, know what you're buying. When it comes to your ball, if you do a lot of bumper pulls, say you're a non-CDL guy, I highly recommend once a year spend the $25, $30 and replace the ball. There's a lot of, like, when the manufacturer makes that trailer hitch ball, they're making it, you gotta understand, they are making it for the weekend warrior. The guy who's hauling his camper to camp during the summer. Maybe the fall. Not winter, not spring, not 5 days a week, not 7 days a week, not 14 days out of the month, 700 miles a day. That metal's going to fatigue. If you start running up into like Canada, where it gets really, really cold, that metal will fatigue. The more it fatigues, the weaker it will get. Eventually, you'll have a hitch failure. Well, I promise you, you have a hitch failure, your company's they're going to call that an at-fault accident. That's a claim on you. And all for $20, $30, $40, whatever the case is. Just change it once a year. It ain't that big a deal. Throw it in the scrap pile. And, I mean, if you're a good American who doesn't believe in homeowners associations, you've got a scrap pile at the house. Chunk that sumbitch in it. Okay, so. Oh, and when you buy a fuel tank, buy an aluminum one, not steel. Also, don't go to Tractor Supply and buy your fuel tank. 95% of those are not DOT legal, by the way. And it will clearly state on a tag on there, not for interstate commerce. Buy an aluminum RDS or www.atitank.com. Either one of those two you can pick. They've got DOT approved fuel tanks. If you're a guy running a gas truck, ATI has you a DOT approved gas tank. RDS does have one that's approved for gas. You just got to go through the catalog and there's not very many of them. But ATI, all of theirs are approved for gas. DOT approved for gas. And you don't have to do half the bullshit people tell you to. It plummet the same way you do. Well, I'll let you all figure that out. I'm not even going to get into that. So anyway, so there's the fuel tank, there's hitch. Window shades. Seriously, guys. WeatherTech. Your make, model, sliding glass, non-sliding glass, and be done. hanging towels, hanging shirts, cardboard. I mean, I've done it all. I really have. I started out with hanging towels from the Flying J. Hey, I need another towel. Hey, I need another towel. And then I'm the jackass in the parking lot with 4 Flying J towels hanging off the windshield. And then sunshade in the front. WeatherTech has it all. $75, roughly. Dan's got them in stock. Ford, Chevy, Ram. Just go, just look professional. Come on, guys. A bed. Yes, you can get on Amazon and you can buy one that doesn't fit and you can fucking hack it up and cut it, or you can fucking try to squeeze it in. Look, guys, seriously. Elkhart Bedding. Elkhart, Indiana. When I say Elkhart has everything for what we do, they literally have everything. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not trying to fucking upsell on people. I'm telling you, I'm trying to make your fucking life easy. You can go home and you can run all over the fucking place. Elkhart Bedding has 4 mattresses. 2 pillow top, 2 non-pillow top. A high end and a low end on both pillow and non-pillow top. I will say the pillow top, the higher end one, that's like $500. It is worth every penny. That son of a bitch would be if you like a soft mattress, oh my God. If you like a firm mattress, the lower priced pillow top. You give them the length and the width, they build the mattress. Tell them it's for a truck, and they can make it so you can fold it in half and get it in. I've been doing this probably going on 14 years now, whatever, and had just recently bought a mattress. I was using foam, 6-inch foam from an upholstery shop, cut to fit to the truck. I tell you what, my back, my hip, my knees, my ankle, everything started feeling better because I sleep on my side. Everything felt better when I went to an actual mattress that was custom built for the back of the truck. I think I was out under $400, like $380. Why would you not spend $380 on an actual mattress that fits? Come on, guys. I see guy, I can go to Walmart for $80. I could buy a twin size and cut it down. Okay, what's your time worth? I mean, realistically. And for you existing guys who are watching this, seriously, guys, get a mattress. Measure from the back of your driver's seat to the back wall from door to door. Go in and tell them, hey, this is what size I need a mattress. So we got shades, mattress. There's that. For everything else, like I said, I'm just covering the highlights of this. All the other stuff, like I know Indiana Transport, they want a full width mud flap and they want it so far off of the ground. To me, it's worth paying the money to Dan's Hitch to say, hey, I'm leased to Indiana Transport. I need my truck to meet their specs. If you're getting into this. I know some of us who are mechanically inclined like to do our own shit, but it's better to pay someone to do it and have it done right the first time than to fail your truck inspection at orientation. And then you're not leaving because you got to fix your truck. And like right now, say you come up for orientation, now you got to do it in 20-degree weather rather than at home where it's considerably warmer because most of us live in the south or in the southern part of the United States. So I would say for all the new people who are not in this, who are coming up, no matter what, realistically, if you're not leased on and you're coming up to lease on, I'd come a week early. I'd set an appointment with Ryan at Dan's, and I would say, okay, here's who I'm leasing on to, set my truck up. Mud flap wise. I think Wave wants one. I think Horizon requires one. And I know they have certain parameters because if it's too high up, it doesn't stop the rocks. And if it's too low down, when you load the truck, it's going to drag and that kicks rocks up. So they have a certain spot that they want. And yeah, you could probably do that, but look, just be one and done. But each company has a different set of truck requirements. The basics are a fire extinguisher, fuses for that truck, not just fuses for that truck. Because fuses for a 2019 and newer Ram are not the same fuses for a 13 through 19, which are not the same as a 12 and older. One brand, 3 different generations, 3 different styles of fuses. So have the fuses for your own. That kind of covers. Oh, and you'll want a pintle hook. Now, if you buy a Gen Y, they have a pintle hook option. If you get the 3-hole, the 4-hole, non-torsion or torsion hitch. B&W now comes out with one that you have the option. It's an adjustable hitch that you can use as a pintle, or you can buy just a straight up pintle hitch. They have some that it's just straight. There's no drop to it. There's some that are on a riser or at lower, depending on how you turn it. It's got 4 holes, and you bolt your pintle hook to it, and you can set it in 3 different positions. Pick one. It doesn't matter. If it's adjustable, you can make it fit. If it's non-adjustable and it's your hook that's welded to a shaft and straight, well, I mean, it is what it is. Multi-haul. I am and nothing against RV transporter. I love what he does. He's got it figured out. And I think it's because of where he lives. It works great for him. What works for him is not going to work for the majority of us. Now, if your attitude is I don't want to take the bed off my truck, you don't need to be in multi-haul. You really don't. Your truck is a tool. If you're going to multi-haul, you're not doing it because, I want to wrestle with campers in 15-degree weather while it's snowing. You're doing it because you want the money. So get a step deck, not a gooseneck. And I'll say this, I'll go back to it again. If you are going to rent a trailer from someplace other than Bennett, buy a trailer. You are stupid to pay rent and then pay to maintain the trailer and never own it. That is dumb as fuck. That is a bad business decision. It is a good way to go broke. Now, having said that, you want the greatest return on your investment and your time. Yank the bed off, go pull a step deck. Your pickup will be good for about 2 years. Now, I'm gonna say on average, because I know of a guy, he's in some transmission issues. 3 Jasper units later, they gave him his money back, and he's moving on to a Chrysler Reman unit. Hopefully that takes care of his problems, and he doesn't have another problem for quite a while. I strongly urge everybody who's going to go into multi-haul, get a semi. I mean, they're cheaper than a pickup. They outlast. They run better. They just all around, it's just better. No, your maintenance isn't anymore. If you take and change your oil in your truck every 10,000 miles, you can do an oil change every 30,000 in a semi, and make it to where basically it's costing you $100 per 10,000 miles for an oil change. Oil change on a semi is about $350. So yeah, in a 1 ton, you're buying tires twice a year, and in a semi, you're buying them once every 10 years, 5 years, unless you hit something or you have alignment issues. Now, what do you need for a 1 ton and multi-haul? You need a low-profile fifth wheel. You need a low-profile fuel tank. Now, I highly recommend, you cannot use an L tank. The trailer will hit. The only time the trailer will not hit an L tank is if it's a small L tank and you have an 84-inch cab to axle truck. That's whether that's Ram, GM, or Ford. If you have an 84-inch cab to axle, which means from the back of the cab to the center of axle is 84 inches. The other option is 60 inches, which is equivalent to a standard 8-foot bed pickup truck. They're 60-inch cab to axle along with the cab chassis. I don't recommend cab chassis. We've been through all that. But if you have an 84-inch cab to axle, you can actually get you a vertical 90-gallon RDS tank, put it up against where your cab is, and the trailer will never hit. And you can pull your extension on your step deck all the way out. So you will need a low-profile fifth wheel and a low-profile tank. Most tanks about 7 inches tall. And the problem is when you come into turns, that corner of the ship sheet trailer gets real close, real quick. Now, Ryan, from time to time at Dan's Hitch, has these used. I was in a hurry, needed a tank. I ordered one from ATItank.com. I gave them my length, my width, and 7-inch height, and they built one for me. I even got to put where I wanted the drain, where I wanted the fill cap, where I wanted the vent, and where I wanted the mounting tabs. So, that worked out great. I'm a big proponent of aluminum fuel tanks. I bought a steel tank one time off Craigslist back then. That's how long ago it was. And it cost me a fuel pump in 4 months. Because it had rust and metal in it, and it got down and it ate the fuel pump. Aluminum, not saying there won't be nothing in it. But for whatever reason, aluminum doesn't seem to tear up your fuel filters before it gets into the fuel tank. The metal and the rust, maybe it was just the rust. I don't know. All I know is 4 months after having it, the thing killed the fuel pump. And I'm sure somebody will be like, oh, I've had a metal tank and I never had an issue. Good for you. Not your channel, not your experience. This is my channel, my experience. So, no, I will never have a metal tank. If metal tanks were so great, manufacturers of semi-trucks would be putting metal tanks on semis rather than aluminum. But they've learned aluminum is more expensive, but it don't rust. What's one of the things that's in diesel fuel? Water. What's water do to metal? It rusts. That's why there's a water separator on a semi. Use your head. So, okay. Fenders. Some places will require you to have fenders on your truck when you pull the bed off. Some don't. I highly recommend getting fenders, mainly because when you are empty and the trailer's not behind you, you don't have the potential to throw a rock through your back window. Because when you're driving with no fenders, there is a chance that you kick a rock up or a rock flings out of your tire as it's turning. And when it's turning forward, what's it doing? It's going forward, which could throw a rock through the back window. And if you have a Ram that has a power back window, that is $1,000 bill. You might be able to find one in the salvage yard for about $800. So, fenders, mud flap, low profile fifth wheel, low profile fuel tank to convert your pickup truck to do center rail. Now, if you have a road tractor, a semi, a tractor, whatever you want to call it, jackalope. It's easy to install. Comes with everything you need. It's around $358. It will come with a pigtail that plugs into where the green cord goes in. You wire that to a converter box. Then you pull a power and a ground from the battery to the box. You pull your red and blue wire from your brake controller to the converter box. And then you wire your brake controller to the battery, hot and ground. Mount your box. You get the output, which is the RV7 way. You wire that in, and you're done. You press the brake, you have brakes, you have brake lights. Hit the turn signals, you have turn signals. Running lights, you have running lights. Easy peasy. Hardest part's deciding where you want to put the converter box. Highly recommend it. Some guys tap into, at the back, tap into the tail lights. They cut an air line. They tee into that, into a switch. Whatever. I'm about easy. Plug and play. And the jackalope is plug and play. Now, Bennett requires a weed burner and all drive tires to be covered, as y'all seen in the video that I did for my semi. Some companies only require you cover the front axle, which makes sense to me because the trailer covers the back axle. But I don't make policy at Bennett. I just follow it. Some don't even require anything. I think, foremost, I don't think they care. As long as it starts, runs, and drives, that's all they want. But you will need to have a converter box, or you will need to tap into the brake lines, put in a conversion box, and wire in a plug. The adapter that goes from SAE7, which is round 7, to RV7 will not work. Either A, it will automatically lock the brakes up and you ain't going nowhere, or B, you will have no brake lights and no brakes, but you'll have everything else, left turn, right turn, and marker light. And the reason being is that a semi-truck, the brake circuit is on the brakes, lights, and brakes are on a separate circuit from your turn circuit. Well, not. Your brake lights are on a separate circuit from your turn lights. Unlike with an electric brake or a pickup truck, automotive, brake lights and turn lights share the same circuit. Of course, all the same things. Triangle, flares, triangles or flares, fire extinguisher, height pole. Height pole is number one. You guys, when you're going into multi-haul, you need a height pole. I recommend measuring everything. Even if you know it's going to be under 13.6, measure it. Then you know for sure. And two, if you do this on enough units, you can look at a load and go, that'll fit. Or, nope, that's a little tall. Haul and tow. It's pretty much they already done for you. I mean, there's mud flaps on it. It's got a bed over the wheels. It's got a winch. I mean, all you need is an adjustable ball tower, which it'll probably come with. And you just need a height stick. A haul and tow and on multi-haul, you may want to get you a 6 or a 10-foot extension so you can plug that back unit in. On a multi-haul trailer, on a haul and tow unit, you may need that because your plug-in is at the end of the truck. The power cord to the trailer is only so long. If you got to pull your extension out or a stinger or whatever you want to call it, when you go to pull that out, you've got to cover that gap. So an extension and some bungee cords will help you achieve that. You will also need some little bungee balls. So it's a little loop of a bungee cord and it's got a little plastic ball. Put that through your plate, the top hole in your plate, and then when you have your back unit hooked up to your haul and tow, same with single pole guys, you'll need that as well. You can feed the bungee cord through the holes of the license plate bracket, back around the plate, onto the ball, and you're done. With multi-hull guys, I would keep, especially in the pickup, you're going to want to keep extra fuses for your running lights. Because if there's a short in the back trailer and you plug it in, it has the potential to pop the fuse on the pickup. So, of course, there again, we go about fuses that for the vehicle. Guess that's it. If you got questions, ask them. I'll answer them. I know it's been a minute since I've put out a long video of me rambling on about dumb shit. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this one. I was sitting here and I seen a post and I was like, damn, I should have probably put this out. But he already bought it and he's already got it in his truck and it is what it is. But it got me to thinking about a subject matter that I may or may not be able to help y'all on. So anyway, as always, y'all be safe. Y'all be good.